change when it's too long delayed or denied. Violence will break out here and there. Not that men planned or willed it, but their accumulated grievances will erupt with volcanic fury.
I've sat at a meeting with some foreign investors who came to Ghana purposely to buy gold. The man said that, look, you know what? We have slated $500 million for this project. Look,
$500 million in this economy, Ghana.
My brother, the man pulled up documentation to show that they have slated $500 million
Charlie,
to buy gold.
That's loose. In a very small time, we would have to be importing water from other countries. And
the financiers of these so-called politicians also have higher shares in this business. They know that even their own people are the ones involved. And so it's a collective effort and mind shifts, as this podcast stands for, that is needed. If somebody is not willing to sacrifice what he personally gains, my brother, forget.
Meet Joseph Agbesuke, known as Sergio. Is a dynamic communication consultant and entrepreneur. As the owner of Golden Prints and Communications, an executive producer at DA Multimedia, his expertise span across public relations, content creation, and social media management. With a first-class honors and a master's in public relations from the Ghana Institute of Journalism, Sergio's commitment to excellence is undeniable. From teaching to writing impactful publications, his diverse background reflects a deep passion for leadership and service. Sergio brings unmatched skills in communication, graphic design, and public speaking, driven by a mission to inspire, empower, and uplift his community.
Yo, so welcome to another exciting episode of the EYV podcast with me, Bride Opokuba Mashandov. That is Bob Shandy for short. And for those who have showed us immense support on our podcast, for those who have subscribed, who likes, and those who shares, like, we are so grateful for this thing that you've done for us. A podcast that is very new, and you've shown us this immense support. Thank you very much. But please continue to share to other people, subscribe, click on the notification bell, and also share to others. And on this episode, yes, I have with me again Sergio. Like I told you guys, he's going to be a regular guest on this podcast because yes, we're going to have so many issues to talk about. And today, I call it the EYV salad because yes, we are going to it doesn't have any formula, and we are going to talk about so many things, especially about the Galamsey issue, how we started or how it started in this country, what the journey has been so far, and how it's affecting so many things in this country, economic-wise, health-wise, amongst other things. So yes, I'm turning right to Sergio. Sergio, welcome to the EYV podcast again.
Thank you.
Charlie, you're looking good. But I like the black that you've worn because, Charlie, whatever thing that we're going to talk about today, it's a very serious issue. And it's about this Galamsey thing. I think it was around 2017 or 2018 where our president said he was going to put his presidency on the line.
Yeah.
What has happened so far? Talk to us.
Well, Shandy, it has been crazy, and in recent times it has been worse. I would say that the Galamsey situation, as we know it, didn't start from today. But it looks like in recent times the situation has exacerbated, and it is gradually getting out of hand. And it doesn't look like the presidency on the line is solving any problem as it stands. There may have been efforts, but all of these efforts, I must say, have been futile, and Ghanaians do not tend to see the level of commitment they expected towards the fight against this Galamsey thing.
Because Joe, like you already said, after he made that promise, like that solemn pledge that he was going to help fight this thing, I remember there was this Operation Vanguard that was earlier, and they did what they could do. Later, they had to do this national forum where we had the Otunfo and other paramount chiefs that come together to talk about the way forward. They had to set up a committee to now put in proper place or position systems to share these concessions and stuff. But I think that was when the new land minister was appointed, John Janapo or something. And from there, it's becoming worse.
Shandy, it is interesting that, and I have heard stories that this Operation Vanguard thing, when the soldiers even go on the site, the Galamsey people give them money and they tend to protect the site.
like, no, I'm coming. So like those people who are supposed to be, the ones who fight against the thing.
Look, my brother, it is not small money we are talking about when we are dealing with this Galamsey matter.
Okay.
The gold business, look, the gold industry is not small money circulating inside. So it is very difficult to just jump on side and say, hey, stop, and people will stop. No. Like, you see, there are categories. I see two categories of people here. I see the big men who own the bigger excavators and machines and those things.
Okay.
And I see the poor people who are working in the mud to make a living.
Okay, so there are these two.
You see, I see these two categories.
Okay.
And it is not small money circulating.
Oh, okay.
Imagine you go on a site and a day, they give you 500 cedis, you earn 500 cedis per day.
That is not good.
My brother, how much is the person working at the bank earning a day? You see, so it is not small money we are talking about. And so it is difficult to just go and clamp on side because the person going there to go and halt whatever situation, when he goes, they can show him money. They can show him money. He will forget about whatever order he's on. And the money will have ripple effects to reach whoever is even sending him. So it is not easy to just go and clamp on side and say, hey, stop. Because people want to survive. And the big men are not willing to give up the bigger money or profits they are making from the gold business for you, your water body.
So Joe, like, you think it's more now about survival than we looking at the positive, things about this whole distraction that we are doing. So it's more about survival from the people.
You see, there is the survival bit and there is the income or profit making bit. Okay. It is so pathetic. That the reality on the ground is that the people who are supposed to stop whatever Galamsey thing happening are the ones who own bigger shares, who own bigger machines and these things on the site. You can't tell me the poor people in the mud looking for whatever gold to wash or whatever are the ones who own these excavators behind them.
Because like they
cannot
afford it. Yeah.
So there's obviously somebody who owns this machine, but it's not on site.
You know, like, not to cut you, but just to add more into it. I think recently I was watching NGO TV, right? And the host of the morning show, Okateche FIFA, he actually, I think he had gone on site, several sites to go and clamp down on this activity. And upon talking to some of these what's the name? The site managers, he came to the realization that most of these people who own these concessions or the sites are actually people in power. So he called live. Some of them are DCs, MCs, ministers, and when you call, like, he's able to mention their names. And so like what you are saying is very true.
Like, seriously, they are the people who are supposed to make the decisions to halt it are the one. So it's like Nipo, you see the poor bear no faith in the situation. They are showing you their teeth, but they are the ones biting you too.
But Joe, like, on the most serious note, like, when you look at the ratio, those who are benefiting directly from this menace and those who are also not benefiting and are also not in support of this whole thing. Like, you look at the numbers and you see, for those who are not in support are the majority.
Okay.
And we have the very few people who are the ones benefiting from the, like, how do we do this? Because
you see, the point is, you are in the majority and you want it to stop. Okay. But the minority have that power to continue. Because the one in the mud who is willing to fight whatever army you sent to continue to mine at the shore or to continue to mine in whatever river or lake is not willing to put down the money he is gaining for you, your so-called water body. Because if he gains more, he's probably willing and able to buy whatever water he needs. And look, let me tell you something. When I say the amount of money circulating in the gold business is not small, look, I've sat at a meeting with some foreign investors who came into Ghana purposely to buy gold. We met at one popular hotel, and there were chiefs and other people and one aspiring MP. He gathered us that he wanted us to go and gather, get people to source this gold from, and they wanted to buy in kilos. The man said that, look, you know what? We have slated $500 million for this project. Look,
$500 million in this economy, Ghana.
My brother, The man pulled up documentation to show that they have slated $500 million
Charlie, that's
to buy gold.
That's loads of
and
money.
Look, they don't want to buy the gold in pounds, so this small quantity. They want to buy in kilos.
In kilos, yeah.
And as of 2 years ago, when this happened, they were willing to buy 1 kilogram for $48,000 converted to Ghana city. So imagine somebody at a site is able to gather a few locals to go and wash gold, and they get even 1 kilo. That is a life-changing money for you and I, my brother.
Yes, very true.
So,
very true.
If you look at the money the owner of whatever machinery and site is making, you think they are willing to just rise up one day, you know what, we are spoiling the water body, so let's stop.
It's going to be very difficult.
Is it a joke? No.
Yeah.
You see, because if they look at the margin of what they are making, the connections they have got, the places they have been to because of this business, it is very difficult to tell them to just stop. So I think, look, the conversation should not even be about stopping, but probably what can we do to mine differently other than spoiling water bodies?
Yeah. So just before we get to how we can do to prevent our water bodies from spoiling, please, if you are watching this, and yes, the EYV podcast, like we've already told you guys, focuses more on business entrepreneurship, but then there's the other side, that is the mindset shift, and that is why we're having this conversation. It's not as if we've diverted from what we stand for, but then as part of what we stand for, we need to conscientize our people, bring to the notice, and there's no way we can empower voices without adding our voices to some of these things. Like, it's gradually becoming a very bad thing, like destroying, and like you rightly mentioned, the water bodies. Recently, there was this video that was circulating, right? That I think is the Wager Dam. And I learned it supplies about 80% of water, like in the whole of Accra. Joe, and this guy zoomed from where he was standing. He could zoom, and you could see that the water has started turning brown.
You see?
And can we imagine when the whole thing, like dam, finally turns into this brownish? How like the effect?
You see, now I keep saying that usually by nature, a lot of water bodies around the globe seem to be interconnected.
Yeah.
Okay. They are interconnected, even in Ghana. So when one thing, there's a ripple effect. When one thing happens in this one, over time, it will gradually leak into the other. And that will also gradually leak into the other one.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be surprising if gradually almost all water bodies we have in our country turn muddy. Okay, it wouldn't be surprising at all. And you see, the devastation here for me is that when we're in primary school, they introduced us a little bit to how this whole pipe-borne water is purified. Yeah. There are these stages and there's this chlorine thing at a certain stage. Look, although there are stages, I'm aware there are stages to remove particles and things. But currently in our country, I doubt there is a stage to turn muddy water into a clean one.
That is a serious thing here, because like
that is why it should not be surprising when somebody opens the tap and the water flowing is muddy.
Somebody just told me yesterday that even here in La Paz, just here in La Paz, somebody opened the tap and it was this dirty water coming.
It shouldn't be surprising, because the basics that I know do not include purifying the muddy water. And it is the clean water we see, but that has particles that they purify for us to have access to. And look, it is you and I who are in Accra here who have access, who are able to buy pure water and bottled water. A lot of people in many communities rely on pipe-borne water. There are even places they drink well water. So imagine the number of people who are going to have access to such amount of dirty and polluted water. It is a crazy situation we are talking about.
Because Joe, like seriously, recently, let's even look at the politics of this. 2020, when we had this 2020 election, per the analysis, the MPP lost more seats in the areas where the Galamsey stuff were going on, because they had started this war against it. So now, in this, when we are gearing towards this 2024 election, you don't see that political will, because then they are looking at also, if we've done this thing before and it affected most of our parliamentary candidates lost their seats in these areas. So how do they balance this thing, the fight against this Galamsey thing, and also the political they staying in power, because if they do, the people there are going to. And don't forget, there was this also this video also where the opposition also goes to these places, go and campaign that hey, when their president comes into power, like they are going to aid them. So now we are looking at we still playing politics with such a serious situation.
It tells you that it is a critical machinery for power acquisition and maintenance in our country. I heard someone say that the government has the power to stop this Galamsey menace in a week.
They can, you control all this apparatus,
But you see, aside the votes that they will lose, because those engaged at the various water bodies are probably not going to vote for whatever government that stops this, because you have stopped them from gaining their daily bread. Apart from that, the financiers of these so-called politicians also have higher shares in this business. So you cannot go and stop. It's like you are taking food away from what is feeding you.
Okay.
You cannot go and abruptly stop it, because the moment you do, you are killing your financiers' business.
Because they are the very ones engaging.
And look, it should be interesting for you to know that sometimes we see politicians on the podium, we think that they are rich. No.
There are people in the
background. There are richer people who are pushing them to go. Sometimes politicians are just pawns on the chess pieces of these so-called big men.
Yeah.
There are bigger and richer men who have more influence than the politician we see on the podium. And these are the people controlling this economy. They are the people controlling this whole Galamsey, whatever mining that is, because it is not small money, and you and I cannot just go and jump inside and say we are going to do small scale mining.
But Joe, and you see, that's where the problem comes in. I have a problem with this, because as a people, if we continue to look at how we can sustain our political parties than we doing things to help build this country, I think the sense of nationalism and patriotism in this country is gone. Just I think 2 months ago or so, there was this emergency parliamentary meeting that was called, and one of the shocking things that I saw, the MP for Adwejiri, Isama Adwejiri, Anadompre, for me, if not for anything at all, this man should be voted out.
The
one who said that they were comparing.
Political parties, even NDC time, they spoiled more water body than
it's us. A shame to see such an honorable man making such statements on the floor of parliament.
Look,
when we have a serious issue to talk about, we are there comparing the two parties whose regime aided the degradation of our country.
It should tell you that it is a machinery for their power acquisition and maintenance, like I said. That is why no one, which of them has boldly said that, hey, me, when I come, I'll stop Galamsey. You see, nobody has able to say it. And they will say we will regulate it. We will do this. But they cannot boldly say it, because they know that even their own people are the ones involved.
And you see, talking about regulation, most of these Galamsey people, after they did these reforms and stuff, after the National Forum, it was revealed that most of the concessions that were belonging to them originally or initially had been taken away from them and had been given to party faithfuls. So how then do you go back to these people and go and tell them that you are coming to put up regulations? They've seen the first one, you took away their concession that they rightfully owned. How would they even support you in this fight?
Look, you see, that is why the Bible was not wrong to say, for the love of money. Look, my brother, this whole thing we are talking about hinges on money. Who wants to gain more? Who wants to maintain what they are gaining? And who wants to kick the poor man out of the way for his own gain? These are the realities on the ground. And today's politics, look, a lot of people, it is then times that people will fight for power. Nkrumah Dems will fight for power just because they want to better Ghana. Now, a lot of people are entering politics because they have seen that it is lucrative.
An easier venture to make money.
Serious. When I go and I stand on a podium, compare the policies people bring out.
Yeah.
And how they implement it when they gain power. You see the things they say they will do is different from when they come, what they actually do.
Yeah.
You see, because they know that the people just want to hear something. Give them something nice that aligns with what they want. And then push some small coins, rice and bags when it's during election. They will give you power. Now, when you gain power, all they can do is make noise.
But you see, this is where I think I love what is happening. You know, what you're saying is very true, but I think the youth of this country now is having a rethink. Because recently, in fact, we saw the protest, the 3-day protest, Stop Galamsey protest. And for me, I was out of town. I would have been part of that. Because like it is one of the things that I feel that, yes, it is time for us, the youth, to match up and, you know, protest against some of these things. If those in power are so, excuse my word, dumb to notice the effects of what is happening, we need to bring it to their notice. And yes, we've got the power, because I mean, this 3-day project that they did for me was marvelous. And I think
it's been massive. You see, I won't catch you, Sandy, but it's been very massive, and it's been very great because it has gone global. I've seen influencers who are whites even do stories about our protest.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen one white guy who did a story on the whole GALAMSEY thing, and even showed the water bodies that have been damaged and polluted and all. So it has really gone viral and is making huge impact. But now you go and it's a circle. It will go and come to the feet of that politicians who own the machine and has the power to stop it.
And you see, like, I think, let's comment some people. I think, like, the notable people who were involved in this protest, Kali J, is it Vermawa or something?
I think it's one Walker or Walter Vomawa, so he has a name.
And I think this lady, is it Governor, Ama Governor or something?
Yes.
Like those guys, like they actually, you know, spearheaded some of these things on social media. And yes, other content creators like the Kodishodi Studios, I saw the likes of all of those people, Big Paradise, other people, you know, add their names to this, add their voices to this whole thing. And for me, I think that's the right thing to do.
It is.
We ought to, as a country and as a youth for that matter, you know, stand up to some of these things. Because yes, we are the future of this country. These people, they are in their 60s, they are in their 70s, they are in their 80s, and yes, they have less to lose. So if we don't add our voice to some of these things, then yes, we would have ourselves to be blamed. But Joe, where do we go from here? Because like you said, most of these activities goes on in the rural areas, where when you look at the economic, you know, fabric of those people, it's nothing to go by. So how do we look at they stopping this activity, or they engaging in this activity, and also getting being able to feed or fend for themselves? Where do we go from here?
You see, it's a hectic one. It's a very difficult one, because let me also say that in as much as we are talking about halting Galamsey and all these things, there is that poor man in one village who relies solely on going to site, helping wash good, and get money to pay school fees, get money to feed the family, get money to do this. Okay, these are all people involved. We shouldn't just assume or rise up and say halt. So the question is this: if this person stops, what do they feed on? Now, do I think that we can completely stop this within the shortest possible time? Say, hey, stop. No, I don't think so. Because I think that even if there's a halt, it will rise again. Let's take note that Galamsey didn't start from today.
Yeah.
It has been there for years.
Yeah.
But even when it was there, you and I were doing social studies and they were showing us River Pra and River Densu, and they were not muddy.
Yeah.
What were they doing at the time that the water was not muddy? Or is it that it has expanded too much to the shore? Now, is there a way to mine gold without muddying the water body?
Okay.
I think this is where the conversation should be. We should find a way to think, is there a way to do this gold business, still get money, but not damage the water bodies? Mind you, there are small-scale miners who also have license to operate.
Yeah.
The question I ask is, are there some of these small-scale miners who are licensed also involved in spoiling our water bodies?
Yeah.
I don't have facts, but I think so, yes.
Yeah.
There are some of these people who have license to operate and still are engaged in destroying the water body. So it is not only about licensing, it is not only about regulation, but it is about method. Is there a way to extract gold without destroying the water body? I think this should be the conversation.
Because Joe, seriously, if we don't do something to clamp down on this thing, like I said, like we are all going to be in a serious mess.
Serious.
Because even with the clean waters, how many times do you have water flowing?
Even with the clean water, it's not flowing regularly. Then it will become muddy.
like somebody said, in a very small time, we would have to be importing water from other countries, and that is also going to create a whole.
You see, as a matter of fact, importing water is not new though. Currently in Ghana, there is water that is imported.
Oh, so
yes, I've seen there's a certain brand of water. A lady even used it for TikTok.
Yeah.
There's a brand of water, that is imported into Ghana. And I think that one was around 13 cities or 11 cities.
And people still buy them.
Yeah, there are people who buy that water.
And I'm sure.
So now, as it stands, there is importation of water already.
So people like I've seen the business.
It is just a matter of time that this importation of water will trickle down to you and I.
You see, some people say that the problems of this country are people's businesses. Hence, why the politicians do not put, or those in authority, because it's not only the politicians alone, some of the civil servants, they do not put in measures to solve our problems. So it's even started like there's a business side of this whole thing.
Oh, there is a business side of it all. Look, maybe one day you and I should go to a typical Galamsey site. You see the range of businesses there. There is somebody there who is just renting equipment. Okay, there's somebody, he only owns equipment and he rents it. There's somebody there's a chief who owns lands under his territory. So you can't give you the place. You go and they'll show you, and you don't pay small money. We are talking about millions of dollars. So there is a business attached to every single aspect of it. So by now that you and I have realized water bodies are spoiling, somebody is somewhere thinking of where can I start importing water?
Cheap water from.
You get the point. Somebody is thinking seriously. There's a business aspect to all of it. And so it's a collective effort and mind shifts, as this podcast stands for, that is needed. If somebody is not willing to sacrifice what he personally gains, my brother, forget.
We ought to, as a people, need to come to that realization that enough is enough. Because we have no other Ghana, we have no other country. This is all that we've got. And I think or sometimes I want to believe that these guys, the Nkrumahs, and the other folks who came before the current crop of leadership, if they were so much into this money thing, then Ghana, we wouldn't have even come to meet the kind of country that we have now.
No.
They yes, maybe there were other things that they did which were no good, but I'm not sure it was as high as what we are seeing now. The sense of nationalism is lost. Patriotism is gone.
The mindset has been. You and I did a documentary some years ago.
Yeah.
We even covered the military regime.
Yeah.
And there were videos showing Rawlings at the time engaged in building railways.
Yes. And even that's a gutter clearing.
You see, the mindset at the time was to build an economy that we had just taken from our colonial masters.
Yeah.
Okay, so what can we do? What can we do to be sustainable on our own? How can we maintain our independence? Okay, that was the thought at the time. For which reason they built a lot of things. They will build the harbor, they will build the dam, they will build this, you see. But you realize that particularly with this Fourth Republic, a lot of state properties have been sold. A lot of state companies have. The mindset is now about, Charlie, now politics is a nice business. So if I enter right now, I can also claim this, claim that, claim that. That is a thought. Okay. As to making people's lives better, it is just about, let's throw some corns to the chicken. They will come near, then we get them and slaughter them. That is how the mindset of politics has become. And it is what is killing us.
Wow, Joe. with all that we've like, what are your final words? What are your final words to this? And just before you come in, for me, what happened in Kenya some months ago.
Yeah.
You see, if our leaders don't take care with the kind of aggressiveness and that kind of thing that we the youth, like we started showing them, there could be a similar thing to come, because there's this favorite quote of Kwame Nkrumah that I so much believe in, that change when too late, denied or delayed, violence will break out here and there.
Yeah.
Not that men planned or willed it, but what their accumulated grievances would erupt with volcanic fury. If we don't take it, there's going to be one time that people are just going to scale up things. And
I recall a statement like that, a quote like that made by Nkrumah.
Yeah.
And I recall Rawlings also making a similar statement that Ghanaians will usually do
yeah.
But there is a point.
Yeah.
If it gets to a certain point and they can no longer take it, they'll riot. And he himself admitted that his coup wouldn't have been successful if Ghana was not calling for it. It tells you that riot or revolting would surely come up at a point if care is not taken. If Ghanaians are pushed too much to the wall, it will come to a point people can no longer bear it. They will be willing to lay down their lives for the younger ones or the future generations to enjoy. Like the army officers at the time who marched to the colonial masters and were shot.
Yeah.
There's a point that we can no longer take it, and we will be forced to pick up whatever we want to pick up, riot however we want to riot, because we can no longer take
it. Because Joe, just before we go, right, recently when our exporters export some of our food stuff, they get rejected by the UK, from our vegetables to our fruits. Falling. And even recently, the determining of the cocoa prices in Ghana, Ghana was the major stake in determining. Do you know recently it was only Cote d'Ivoire?
Yeah.
Because they can't even look out for quality cocoa beans in this country.
Exactly.
Anymore. We don't even contribute as high.
And it is crazy when China has also started producing cocoa. It is crazy, my brother. So you see what I said about the ripple effect. If the water body is spoiled, one water body is not only about even affecting only the water body. You see agriculture production. You see aquatic life. I'm just imagining the blindness that fishes are facing in these muddy waters. Even though we will chew them in the end. But it's like they're struggling for us to chew them.
And even health-wise, because people are going to drink these waters, we are going to consume some of these things.
Look, it's supposed to be a collective effort.
Yeah.
And I say that when the youth call for change, it is onus on a certain man in power to also look within himself and say that, no, what I'm doing is enough. Let us put a stop to this. Until that man or until those big wigs sitting at a round table, I always say, when these big wigs, when these big men who own these mining companies and things sit around the table, I know they do sit around tables. When they sit around the table to discuss matter, what do they discuss? Is it a way to shut us up? Or is it a way to stop the menace they are causing? It is onus on them to just say that enough is enough. Let's find something else to do.
Joe, I want to say a very big thank you for passing through. It's been a wonderful and insightful discussion on this Galamsey issue. And yes, this is the EYV podcast with me, Brother Pokubo Amashando of UNG, Bob Shandy. And if today happens to be your first time, please don't forget to subscribe. We need that a lot. Please subscribe, toggle on the notification bell, and also share, like, and comment. Drop your comments. We would read them sometime when we come on here. And yes, to our leaders, I said it earlier and I'm going to repeat it again. Change, when it's too long delayed or denied, violence will break out here and there. Not that men planned or willed it, but their accumulated grievances will erupt with volcanic fury. Thank you. We'll see some other time. Bye-bye.